When I was a child, I wanted to either be an artist or an astronaut, and I can't do pull-ups. Well, I grew up in a small town about an hour west of Minneapolis, and I was the first artist of the family. Parents didn't know what to do with me, and so they sent me to the Purpose Center, where I came in contact with other like minds and also just the artistic community that is of Minneapolis. And seeing those big buildings for the first time was just inspiring. I originally was going to an atelier over in Connecticut where they would hone my artistic abilities to the highest caliber that they could. But then I realized that doing so would be there would be a destination to my practice. I wouldn't just be able to continue. I would become a photographically realistic atelier painter, and that was it. So I decided that traditional painting wasn't for me, and I enrolled at the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. And there I was taught some incredible concepts. My work became more contemporary, and I fell in love with the technological aspect of creating paintings. So I create my work digitally as a shorthand because, sketching and drawing out my ideas would take far more time than I want. I want to get into the paint as fast as I can. My junior year, I went to Italy for an entire semester, and I studied at the Accademia dell'Arte, the first art college in the world, where Michelangelo and Artemisia Gentileschi were students and also taught there. And coming back from that, I realized that the quality and just the means of making were going to be very important with my art. And so I just focused on creating quality paintings, and the craft of the painting aspect it was something I fell in love with. Just the luscious way that paint goes onto the canvas and preparing the canvas with traditional hide glue and oil primer, and just the smell of the linseed oil is very alluring. After I graduated from MCAD, I took my professor's advice and I found myself a studio. It was an old 800 square foot space in an old warehouse building. But working in there every day without any other interaction quickly became very stressful. So once we had to move out of that space because it got turned into luxury apartments, I found a 1,400 square foot studio where I decided to recreate that community that I had at MCAD and at Purpose. And so me and 12 others banded together and we created the studio where we work until the wee hours of the morning and stress out about deadlines mutually, all while having a coffee maker, so we stay well caffeinated and full of energy. And I've been doing this professionally now for 5 years, and I've been very fortunate in order to do that.
Hey, Matt!
Hi!
Finally, I get to meet you in person!
It's a pleasure to meet you!
Pleasure to meet you, from our mutual friend, Haley from Curious North.
That's right!
So I have to ask you, holy crap, what are you working on?
I'm working on a painting that's going to be on display in the Minnesota State Capitol outside of Senator Hoffman's office.
Impressive. Can I ask, how long does it take to do a piece like this?
Something this size can take me upwards of a month, and that's putting in 12 to 16-hour days.
And what are some of your techniques?
Well, I start everything off digitally because it's just faster, and when I have an idea of what I want to paint, it's just so much faster to do it digitally. And then I transfer it to the canvas just traditionally, either with a grid or just by sight. And then I just start working on it until it's finished.
but notice this one over here. What's the technique that you use on this?
Well, this is something that it's taken me 7 years to create. It's being painted only in red, blue, and green with a tiny little brush.
Wow. Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I decided to take the hardest form of painting, cross-hatching, and then make it harder. Would you care for a brandy?
Is that how you get people to buy your art, Matt?
Actually, most people contact me through my website, mattollig.com. That's 1 T and 2 L's. I'm the only Matt Ollig in the world, so at least my parents did something right.
Boom, do your parents doing something right?
This pomegranate is 4 years old. I do a lot of commission work, and you can actually see a lot of that work at the Hyatt in their lobby. The Millennium Hotel's Club Room has some work, and also the entire art collection of Ogletree Deacons. And I have some more work in other private and corporate collections around Minneapolis as well.
So if somebody says, I want you to do a picture of me or a picture of a landmark, those are all the things that you can do, specific to somebody's request.
Exactly, and I kind of like the collaborative nature of commissions. They'll come to me with an idea, and then I'll submit some ideas for them, and we go back and forth until they're happy with the concept, and that's when I put canvas to paintbrush.
I like it. So basically, you can vicariously be an artist through Matt, which I love because I don't have a thumb for it. So I can be your muse.
Exactly.
I love it.
And I actually, that whole like living vicariously through my artwork is true, because I set up a blog, and I'm working on doing a live stream now, so then people can actually watch as their painting gets done. And
That's
it's
interesting. That's smart.
Yeah, it's a kind of a fun thing to do, and
Yeah,
people really get into it.
Absolutely. You know, Matt, what pulled me to wanting to come in and interview you was when I look at your paintings, there's such a depth to them, and I can spend hours just like being fixated on it. And I want to know, like, what compelled you to go there, or what brings you to want to take these landmarks and different things and another step to them, I guess.
One of the things that I'm really trying to do with my paintings is to essentially paint a memory. Because when you think of, say, the gold medal flour mill, you don't just think of the iconic image. You think of everything it relates to, and the millwork and the history that it has with Minneapolis. And that idea of painting not just a thing, but a memory is very compelling to me. And so I overlay the images, and I create this rush that you get when you think back on a nostalgic idea or something that you see every day.
And that's what impresses me about you as an artist. And I think what takes you to that professional level is like you can feel that it impacts you as a person that just loves art, as myself. You can spend hours drawing from that and feeling something from it, Well,
I figure if I'm going to be spending hundreds of hours painting it, I should spend that time enjoying what I'm looking at.
Amen to that. Say it one more time, Matt.
MATOLLIG.com.
Now let's go drink some brandy. We've done our work.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to not be able to give advice as to how to become a successful artist. I lead a very uninspired life in that things just happen, but it's always a part of having to be prepared, always having work, always being able to jump onto the next opportunity, and just the tenacity to put in the hours in the studio. That work ethic, which was instilled in me by MCAD and by Perpich, is really what is allowing me to be a professional artist today. Future Matt, this is past Matt. Do not eat the tuna fish sandwich, it is bad. Repeat, do not eat the tuna fish sandwich.
Ooh.
Yep.